The Bruins are progressing, surpassing records for most wins and points in a single NHL season. While they hold the record for the best regular season performance in NHL history, some argue they must win the Stanley Cup to cement their legacy. If they win the Stanley Cup, will they be considered the best team in NHL history, surpassing the historic 76-77 Montreal Canadiens? Let's find out. Bruins records and milestones from the 2022-23 season. The Boston Bruins have low expectations for the 2022-23 NHL season. Last season, the team scored 107 points before losing in the first round of the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs. The Bruins sacked head coach Bruce Cassidy over the summer and replaced him with Jim Montgomery. Since starting the current salary cap era, 2005 to 2006, the Bruins have been putting together one of the best regular seasons. The Bruins are in first place with 135 points, an NHL record, a 65-12-5 record, and an 823 point percentage. They established the record for the most victories in a season and became only the fourth club in history to win 60 games. The Bruins broke the record set by the 1995-96 Detroit Red Wings, which was 62-13-7, and the 2018-2019 Tampa Bay Lightning, which was 62-1-4, by winning 65 games in a season. Those teams' record-breaking campaigns did not result in Stanley Cup victories. The Columbus Blue Jackets swept the Lightning in the first round, and the Colorado Avalanche defeated the Red Wings in the Western Conference Finals. The Boston Bruins overtook the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens at 132 points for the most points in a season, with a 5-2 victory over the Washington Capitals in their 81st game. In an 80-game season, the Canadiens reached the goal and defeated the Bruins to claim the Stanley Cup. The Bruins have a 62-goal advantage over the second-best team, the Stars, who have a +66 goal differential. The 1976-77 Canadiens set the NHL record with a +216 rating. One of the best goalkeeper teams in the NHL is Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman. The combination has the league's best team save percentage, surpassing the New York Islanders at .921 with Keith Kincaid's 30 of 31 performance. The best single-season mark for a team is .934, set by the 1968-69 St. Louis Blues, even though it isn't an official league record. Those saves have resulted in fewer goals for the Bruins' opponents. Their 2.12 goals against average per game puts them considerably ahead of the second-place Carolina Hurricanes at 2.55. The 2011-2012 Blues set the post-1967 expansion record for lowest goals against average in the season with 1.89. David Pastrnak is second in the NHL in goals with 61 and fourth in points with 113. Phil Esposito was the only other Bruin to score 60 goals in a season 4 times. The 61 goals tied for the fourth most in a Bruins season in history. The Panthers author a stupefying upset, eliminating the Bruins in Game 7. On Sunday night, the Florida Panthers defeated the Boston Bruins 4-3 in overtime to get past them in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, despite the Bruins setting NHL records for regular season success. Carter Verhaeghe's overtime goal at 8:35 sent the Panthers into a raucous celebration and surprised Bruins fans. Sam Bennett of Florida worked hard on the forecheck to get the puck to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe had space to score his second goal of the series when Matthew Tkachuk was screening goaltender Jeremy Swayman. "It hasn't sunk in yet," Tkachuk remarked, glancing at a post-game scoresheet. "The talent that exists in Boston is incredible." In the second round, Florida will face the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs defeated the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games to claim their first playoff series victory since 2004. It didn't matter how it ended, it's just that the season has come to an end. "Disappointment and confusion are the words that come to mind right now," Bruins coach Jim Montgomery said. The Panthers overcame a 3-1 series deficit by winning 3 straight games to defeat Boston. With 1 minute left in regulation, defenseman Brandon Montour scored to tie the game and force overtime. "We were 2 minutes away from being in a very sad mood right now," remarked Tkachuk. "However, Montour pushed us through. We'll fight another day." The 2022-23 Boston Bruins were the NHL's most successful regular season club, setting league records for wins at 65 and points 135 in a season. But with that success came the unique pressure of going undefeated in the NHL. President's Trophy curse hits record-setting Boston Bruins. In the past, President's Trophy winners who did not reach the playoffs would blame it on a lack of adversity throughout the regular season. Montgomery downplayed it as a factor, but he did say there was some hangover from the Bruins' easy journey to the playoffs. I do believe our first two games were not prepared for the intensity of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I believe that carries over into the regular season, he said. However, we had dug in by games 5, 6, and 7. That's when it gets a little perplexing. The President's Trophy curse was too strong even for a team coming off the finest regular season in NHL history. The Boston Bruins failed to advance past the first round of the playoffs after a record-setting season, falling to the Florida Panthers in overtime in 7 games on Sunday night. And suddenly, Boston fans who were looking forward to 2 parades, as the Celtics too are poised for a long playoff run, are left wondering where this Bruins collapse rates among the city's all-time worst. It's not the outcome you want, and we're extremely disappointed, said Bruins captain Patrice Bergeron, who announced his retirement after last season, but returned for one more Stanley Cup run. This was especially true given the squad we had. We don't want to be here. The Bruins fired coach Bruce Cassidy after being eliminated in the first round the previous season, hired Jim Montgomery in his place, and then persuaded Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci to come out of retirement in the hopes of capturing their second NHL championship in a row. They won 17 out of their first 19, but in the middle of January they suffered a home loss in regulation. At the trade deadline, general manager Don Sweeney added Dmitry Orlov and Garnet Hathaway for their toughness, with Jeremy Swayman standing in for one of the most successful goaltending duos in history. Linus Ullmark won the Vezina Trophy as the league's best goaltender. This added to NHL records of 65 victories and 135 points. However, it was the same playoff disappointment. "I'm extremely proud of everything we've accomplished with this group," Bergeron said. "It's a unique group on many levels. The people we have, this is not the desired effect." The Stanley Cup has only been won by the President's Trophy winner twice in the previous 20 years. Most recently by the Blackhawks in the championship game a decade ago. Consequently, having the best regular season record had turned into a contentious accolade. Only one team has progressed past the second round since then. Regular season records in other sports do not guarantee playoff success either. The 2001 Seattle Mariners won 116 games. Still, they didn't even enter the World Series. Then there's the 2007 New England Patriots, who won all 18 games in the regular season and playoffs before losing in the Super Bowl, a defeat that still aches for local sports fans. "The regular season is exceptional with what we were able to build together," said Bruins player Brad Marchand. "At the end of the day, we played the regular season to earn a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs, to compete for a cup, and that's the goal every year, not to dominate the regular season. What we established and could do together was unique, yet we fell short of our aim." The following year could be very different. While playing in the first 4 games of the series, Bergeron disclosed that he had a herniated disc. However, he did not mention how the injury might affect his decision to play next season at the age of 38. Krejci did not respond to requests for comment. After the handshake line, Bergeron remained on the ice, waved to the lingering fans, and leading his teammates into the tunnel. After a long embrace with Marchand, Bergeron exited the ring, possibly for the last time. "I'm going to take some time, talk with the family, and then we'll go from there," the 5-time Selke Trophy winner stated. "Right now, it's difficult to process anything. We're astonished and upset, that's all there is to it. As we wait for the Stanley Cup winner, let's continue to celebrate the incredible feats accomplished by past and present NHL teams, and appreciate the beauty and excitement of this beloved sport." So, can the Bruins of 2022-23 surpass the legendary 76-77 Montreal Canadiens as the most incredible team in NHL history? Or is there another team that deserves that title? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to subscribe to our channel. And in the next video, we'll talk more about the President's Trophy curse. Until then, have a good one.